Hey, Burge, Georgia is marking a big milestone this year. We're talking about 100 years of protecting birds and the places they call home all across our state. Joining us now to talk about that legacy and what's ahead is Adam Betuel, Executive Director of Burge, Georgia. Adam, good morning to you. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Excited to talk about birds.
Hey, 100 years, that is a long run. I'm excited to talk about how you've been able to do it this long. Not you personally, but your organization. Take me back to how it started and how you've been able to be successful during that time.
Sure. So yeah, back in 1926, a man named Whitaker was looking for more people who were interested around the idea of birds and bird watching and bird conservation, and was able to kind of get a grassroots momentum going on there. And we've been able to sustain that, like you said, for 100 years, going from the Atlanta Bird Club to Atlanta Audubon to now Birds, Georgia.
And so you got the centennial year going on right now. I'm sure you have plenty of events planned. Anything that the public can participate in?
Yeah, many things the public can join us for. The big one is our Georgia Bird Fest. This is a month-long series of events that runs from mid-April to mid-May. Anyone and everyone is welcome to join us for bird walks, webinars, special events, and kind of the tent pole event for that spring is on April 26th at the Atlanta Botanical Gardens. We'll have our in-person summit with great keynote speakers, bird watching expertise, kind of a great way to get to know the community and get active with us during this centennial year.
Adam, for folks who don't consider themselves avid birders, why should
Yeah.
they care about birding conservation here in Georgia?
Yeah, so birds improve our lives in many ways. Most of them kind of go unnoticed. They're pest control, they're seed dispersers, they're our cleaning crews. They inspire us with their ability to fly and all their amazing colors. One thing I always point out is birds are kind of ever present. There are amazing mammals and reptiles and amphibians in Georgia, but they're tricky to find. But if you and I were to go outside right now and go bird watching, we would see, a dozen, 20 species pretty easily. And then finally, there are almost 100 million people in the United States who consider themselves bird watchers, and they contribute billions of dollars to our economy. So birds mean business as well as all the scientific and ecological benefits they provide us.
Helps communities, helps tourism, helps quality of life. If somebody wants to get into birding, what's birding 101? Where should they start?
First they should come find us at birdsgeorgia.org. We have free field trips all over the state, primarily in the metro area. A pair of binoculars is always a good start. You don't have to break the bank, but anything that will help, give you a little magnification when you're out there looking for those little warblers and sparrows. So finding your community, finding Birds Georgia or your local group, getting a pair of binoculars and maybe a field guide to help you identify what birds you're looking for. And one more thing, there was a great app called Merlin, which is free to download, and it can walk you through that identification process. So check Merlin out.
All right, our producer Reams just got really excited when you said that. I think
Yeah.
Reams, do you have Merlin? He's hopping in.
I don't, but we talk with Georgia Tech a lot about the bird migrations and the professors there. They always talk Merlin.
Always talk about Merlin. Yeah, I think my mom has that. I've heard her talk about that before. Look, Adam, I got to ask about the Georgia Birding Trail too. What is it, and why is it such a big deal for the state?
Yeah, so kind of going back to your question on how people can get involved, the Birding Trail is a statewide network of, we're hoping to have over 400 sites that will encourage kind of visiting novice intermediate birders to go visit some of Georgia's best bird watching destinations. And it's not just about the birds. Do these sites have the amenities we need? Do they have parking? When are they open? Are they ADA accessible? So the Birding Trail is going to have all that site information in addition to all the cool birds you can find there to try to guide people who want to get a little bit deeper into this hobby and realize what birding is all about.
Hey, we're looking at your website as you're speaking. I got to ask, are there any, maybe this is like asking you to pick your favorite child, but is there one
Yeah.
particular Georgia bird you're especially proud to have protected over the years?
Yeah, one bird that comes to mind is the brown-headed nuthatch. They're a bird that's only found in the southeastern United States, so they're kind of our bird. And Atlanta is a bit of a stronghold for this species. We had a campaign years ago to get people to put out nest boxes specifically for this bird and to try to leave any dead trees or branches that they can that don't pose a threat to their house or to the community. These birds are just so cute. They're a couple inches. They give a call that sounds like a squeaky dog toy. They're normally high up in pine trees, but they'll come right down to your bird feeders or nest at eye level. So check out the brown-headed nuthatch if you're unfamiliar with that species.
Very good. My final question. We talked about the last 100 years, but let's look forward to the next 100. What's going to be the biggest challenge for you guys and the biggest opportunity when it comes to protecting Georgia's birds?
Yeah, so we know from a 2019 report that we've lost 5 billion of our breeding, or 3 billion, excuse me, of our breeding birds in the past 50 years. So that's around a quarter of all of our breeding bird life. And so we need to think about how we construct cities in a way that's safe for birds as well as meets the needs of us humans, keeping cats indoors, making sure that our nice shiny buildings that we have in downtown and midtown aren't a collision risk to our birds. So we have a lot of threats facing our birds, but again, our community has never been larger, it's never been more active, and so it's a great time for bird conservation, and we are optimistic about the next 100 years.
Adam Betuel for Birds Georgia. Thank you so much for your time. Great talking with you.
Thank you. Good birding, everyone.